Okay, so tweet it and this should be closed. This looks like it's working. Yep, and here we are. I guess I will wait a few minutes for anyone who'd want to join. This will be weird. I'm pretty sure that I will embarrass myself. And this will go totally bad. If anyone is here, please say hi in chat. I think you need to have the Twitch account for that, but I'm pretty sure that you can log in with Facebook or something like that. So that should make stuff a bit easier. So yeah, today I'll be... Oh yeah, I will update. I will update the description on what I'm going to do today. It's loading. I hope the internet quality is not too bad. I'm not at my place at the moment. I'm in Canada for a couple of weeks in Vancouver. Whoops. Where does it go? Okay, so that's ready. Let me go back to this screen. Okay, so profiling tooling. As you probably know, Visual Studio Code is apparently not an IDE according to some people. Oh god. And yeah, it's not an IDE, it just has debugger, source control integration and stuff. Today I will try to also add one more important feature of any IDE, profiler tooling. For that we will use amazing stuff from JetBrains. As you probably know, JetBrains has this amazing product called .trace, which is like best profiler tool for the .NET that exists on the market, which is pretty okay. Its problem is that it's integrated obviously with Visual Studio, and that's not what we want. Fortunately, oh God, there is one not really known thing about .trace. .trace also provides C command line tooling, and you can work with .trace from command line. There's a couple of utility exe applications that need to be executed to profile the program. If those are command line tools, it means that we can probably easily integrate with them in Visual Studio Code. So basically that's how most of my plugins work like in Ionide. It's both Bucket, Fake, Forge, Expector are all command line are all integrations with command line tools. So adding next one Shouldn't be pretty difficult. Yeah, I went through the documentation a bit earlier today, and looks like we actually may create something interesting. To be fair, probably the most important part, and probably the one that I won't be doing on the stream, is creating some nice visualization for the results of profiling. And that's like, I'm not the best UI designer, but we'll try to do something later. But for today, I will try to create some really simple integration to just throw some results on the screen. So basically the workflow will look like following, will be very similar to the Expecto integration. So basically, or to MS Build integration in Visual Studio Code in Ionide. Basically, you will choose the product, user will choose product file. This product file, if it's exe application, user will be able to choose only those projects that compile to the exe applications. This application will be built, will be the profiler will be configured to use the output exe file. Then the profiler will be executed. Profiler will in the background start the application. Application will run. After application is finished, the profiler also finishes its job. It produces the so-called snapshot. Well, at least that's it how it's called in the snapshot in the JetBrains documentation. Then that's the first part of the task. The second part of the task, snapshot, contains only raw data, which is not really super parsable for the developers. Fortunately, JetBrains provides also the second tool called reporter.exe, which let us create XML reports out of the snapshots. Basically, what those reports include is the list of the functions, how many times the function was called, how many times how much time the process spent in this function, and so on. So basically, the whole data that you get in Visual Studio when you use .trace integration. Yay! So first step is actually done. I've downloaded the .trace command line tool from the internet, and now I will just take it, copy this to my Ionide folder, to the release folder in Ionide repository, which contains also things like forge, exe, or FS autocomplete, which is responsible for all editor language tooling. So yeah, let's just first of all, before we continue, let's create new branch. .trace. Here we will create folder called bin profiler. We will put everything in there. The one interesting problem with .trace is that it's actually pretty big. I mean, the all DLLs that's distributed with the .trace, it's around 200 megabytes, which is kinda annoying. I'm not really sure if I want to distribute .trace this way. I will think about it later. Right now we will focus on the functionality. There's a couple of files that I need to delete because those are files that I've played before with the with the profiler to see if it's working at all. So yeah, that was one of the files. Huh. Oh, report.xml. That's not necessary. Pattern is okay. And both configuration files. Okay. So now let's go to Ionide. Maybe you know, but or maybe not. Ionide is written in F#. It's compiled to JavaScript using Fable, because like Visual Studio Code is basically like Electron application, so it's using JavaScript. It's using Node.js, so its plugins also have to be usually JavaScript applications or something that compiles to JavaScript. In our case, it's F# with Fable. What's interesting about Visual Studio Code extension is that the architecture for them is really they're really well designed in my view. Like in my experience with quite a lot of different systems, different editors that I've tried or had to write plugins to. So I had to write plugin to Eclipse, to Visual Studio. I've also obviously written Ionide for Atom, and now I'm working mostly with Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is probably the best designed. Visual Studio Code is editor with best designed API for extensions, or maybe not API. API is like sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's a bit annoying, but the best architecture. So all plugins are lazily loaded, lazily activated, so there is not really a problem of slowing down editor because you have installed too many extensions, as it happens in a couple of different editors or IDEs. Particular features are activated lazily, so it's not like this one big process at the beginning, but it's like it's process in time. So for example, we have couple of features that are requiring on the activation of previous features and so on. So we have this whole startup process. What else? What else is interesting? Oh, and each Visual Studio Code extension runs in own separate process, which means that if extension crash for some random reason, like you've done while through in your extension and yeah, whatever, something that never exits, it will not crash the whole editor, it will crash just extension, and editor will work as nicely as always. Just this one extension won't work. Okay, and yeah, as you can see, we have quite a lot of different features that we activate lazily, and we'll create new component, as I call it, that will be responsible for communicating with that trace. So profiler fs. God, this will be annoying. Yeah, I will add all those files to gitignore. Obviously, I don't want to include them in my GitHub repository. Bin, what was the name? Bin profiler. Yep. I will put profiler here because in F# the files from one folder needs to be like in one block. And then we are here. Actually, what's nice about Ionide at the moment is that because I've created so many features and so many integrations, it's really easy to just create new one, copy pasting some code around. And yeah, location. Oh, this function probably should go somewhere to the helpers, but let's ignore it for now. Location, get plugin path bin profiler. Okay, so that's basically my helper function that's responsible for getting the path to plugin installation on user disk. So it's like user profile /VSCode /extension /Ionide F# version number on Windows, and like something similar on the Linux and Mac. So actually we'll have two profiler location. We'll have two different locations. One is for console profiler, which is the command line application responsible for profiling and producing snapshot. And then the second one will be reporter, and reporter is, what's the name? Yeah, it's just called reporter. Reporter takes the snapshot and produces nice XML output. Actually, we probably will need also pattern location and something else. I need to think for a moment. No, I believe that's all. So pattern is the XML file that defines how the report is generated out of the snapshot. For example, using it you can filter the methods that should be included in a report and stuff like that. In our case, we want to have everything. So basically, the pattern is an empty file because we just want everything. Oh yeah, and if you wonder why this is so weird code that this is try and then the result is basically repeating same call, I'm not really sure right now, but that's something weird in Visual Studio Code API, and for some reasons this first call sometimes fail. I'm not really sure why, but it never fails 2 times in a row, so yeah, this is working. I don't even know why, and I don't really want to know why. Okay, so we have locations. We will create also output channel. Output channel is what is it? Extensions? No, whatever. Here in the output panel, there are different tabs. Here in this combo box, each one is its own output channel, which basically like enables us to do some logging, or not only us, also like Visual Studio Code team and other extensions to do some logging. Yeah. Huh, that's interesting. This is really interesting. Anyway, that's not really important. Profiler. Okay. Now we will need the function that will actually execute profiling, which is exec forage, exec profiler. This is my helper function that basically handles executing exe file both on Mono and Windows, passing arguments and stuff like that. Yeah, I hope it will work fine. It returns JavaScript promise, so it's like asynchronous function in some way of understanding promises. And yeah, it returns either error, it returns a tuple of error, buffer and buffer. Those two are representing the input and output buffers for the program. Yeah, that's just how JavaScript, that's just how Node.js, what Node.js returns from process spawn or whatever it is used under the hood. Yeah, and now most difficult part is creating command, which will be, I need to go back to the documentation. Whoops, I didn't want to do that actually. What is the profiler sample? Oh, here. So yeah, so we will right now support only sampling profiling type. There are a couple of types in .3 support: sampling, timeline, and something else. Timeline is actually not supported by command line tool, so we don't need to worry about it. And right now, for just sake of hacking something that's working right now, we will use just sampling. Then there is app that we want to execute, and that will be path2. That will be path2, and no prompt is not required because that was forge argument. And the last thing that we need to pass is output path. Output path. Let's create this. Let's create again location, snapshot, what? Snapshot, nie snaphost, snapshot DTP, DTP which is .trace profiler, I guess. So yeah, this will be the full path to snapshot DTP file in the same directory that our profiler is put, and we will just snapshot location, just pass also snapshot location there. Yeah, and that would be actually it. Yeah, that would be it for now. And right now, what do I want to do right now? projects. I do have this helper module that's called project. It's basically responsible for stuff like getting all projects or loading projects or getting all loaded projects loaded in Ionide context already parsed by Project Cracker. So we did have some information about those projects, not only the path to FS project. Yeah. Let profile. So we will have this function that's actually a promise. It will be using getLoaded function from project sample, which returns basically the sequence of all projects that we have loaded, because the first step of our workflow is user. The first step is that user will choose the project that he or she wants to profile. So we need to get all projects we know about in our workspace, and then second step is we need to get only those projects that are actually executables, so that can be profiled by just executing it and attaching profiler to it. Tweets incoming. That's not really important right now. Let's go again back to Forge, because yeah, everything is already created. Just there will be small fixes get loaded, and here we will sequence filter, because we want only those that output ends with .exe. So output is basically like output file for the project. It's one of the properties in the project file. Well, actually one of the properties is the output directory, but after the cracking we have full path to the output file, and if this output file ends with .exe, it means that it's executable, and we want such projects to we want to give user a list of such projects to choose one. Yeah, and if projects count is not equal 0, we will create the quick pick. So basically quick pick is F# add project reference. So basically like this control is the quick pick control in Visual Studio Code. Project to profile, and what we actually want is let project names. That's actually getting pretty annoying. I will need to check out Visual Studio Code documentation, because usually it's just enough that we pass the string to the quick pick, and quick pick operation returns as a promise. So you can see this is this let bank. In promise computation expression as a promise, it will return the chosen value, but in this case the situation is a bit more complex. We would like to display the project name or path to the project, and we want to return actually the path to the exe. So yeah, let's go to documentation to extensibility reference, Visual Studio Code namespace, show quick pick. Yeah, and there's this quick pick item which has description, detail, and label. Description. What was that? Description, detail, and label. I think the detail is the thing that we. Yeah, I believe that it's actually the bug in the documentation, and we want to set label to the thing that we want to have displayed. So the path to the project file and or detail will be our details will be the path to the exe. Projects prime equals projects sequence map. We'll just map our project, my project data structure to quick pick item, which is create empty quick pick item. This is a bit of the magic out of Fable. So that's basically if something is defined as interface, it's pretty like the bindings that we are using are generated out of TypeScript bindings, and because TypeScript supports this like so-called like duck typing, so basically if something implements all required members, it implements interface without implicitly saying that it implements interface, and stuff like that is really popular in TypeScript world. So basically a lot of things is defined as interfaces, and then to do something similar, we basically create instance of this interface, which is obviously not really a true in .NET understanding of the things, but we create empty object that F# thinks that it implements this interface, and now we have those properties that we can use. P project and item description. Let it be description. We will see what will happen. I'm not really sure that I believe that we should use the detail, but it's not here. Anyway. And we return the item from our mapping function, so projects prime is now sequence of quick pick items. We pass it to yeah, and it should be probably resize, because that's the type that Fable is using for JavaScript arrays. Well, because it's actually pretty exactly the same how JavaScript array works. So yeah, at least it has similar capabilities and similar API. No, we don't actually want to map it. We just want to return the edit. And for the moment we will just print we will just check if it's working, and we want the description out of it. And not last, there are two more things that we need to do. Three more things. We want to write activate function that will lazily activate our feature. Yeah, and as I've mentioned, like basically right now everything is created in Ionide already, so it can be really, we can really easily just copy paste stuff around and be happy about it. F# profile project, and the last thing is we need to also add this command to the uh, package manifest. Basically every command that's executed by Visual Studio Code needs to be defined here. F# profile project. It also, like, we can give it nice name, profile project. I will now press F5, which will start building and debugging our application. Well, not really our application, that will build the Ionide and will fire the experimental instance of Visual Studio Code with this new version of Ionide loaded, so we can test new features that we've added. It may take a while, especially that like my PC at the moment, like I'm on the laptop, and due to the streaming everything is working a bit slowly. But yeah, hey, that's the life. Actually, is anyone in chat? Unfortunately not. I hope anyone is watching and I'm not just talking to myself. Let me check how many viewers do I have. Do I have any viewers? Yep, it's loading. It's slowly. Internet is not the best. I really hope that the quality is not super bad. Yeah, there are some viewers. Great. I really hope that it's not too terrible, just given the fact that it's my first stream and I speak terrible English, and I'm not at my normal PC, so there are a couple of things that can go wrong here potentially. Yeah, it's still building. Normally it's much faster, but I believe due to the fact that of the streaming, it's like stuff is going a bit slowly on my PC. Yeah, it's still building. So yeah, it's still building. I will need to find some kind of project that we can run. Oh, let's say Fornax. Yeah, we can try testing this on Fornax. This should be fine actually. It's compiling. Yep. Okay, it has started experimental instance. I will just change the project. Open recent, open folder. Because for just testing purpose, I want to have some simple command line application to run our profiling on. Well, at the moment we are not doing anything yet, but when we will start doing something, then I just want to have some simple application. Oh, Fornex also has. God, it messed up that for the first line. That's actually not nice. Okay, I think now it's better. Oh yeah, as you can see, we have profile project. Extension host did not start. I think that's not really a problem. Or it may be a problem. F# profile project command profile. Yeah, that's not really nice. Let me try quickly. I'll try quickly to fix this. First of all, launch. Let's remove this line so it doesn't build it again, because we've just built it and as you've seen, the building process was kinda slow. So let's try again. Yeah, it's not looking good. Damn it. Usually it works without any problems, but again, it looks like that my laptop is going crazy with this streaming software. Or maybe something else is going wrong, and actually, let me check one thing. I think I should be using VSCode Insiders extensions. Yeah, I'm using the so actually I shouldn't need to it don't require the yeah, usually it's nice workflow to just use the this experimental instance, but in my case I'm using sim-linked version of Ionide, so I'm always using my developer version even when I'm doing my different stuff. I'm just dog fooding it crazily. So I'm using symlink to always use the developer version from my like developing folder, which is not really recommended, but you live once. So now this is normal, and profile command profile project not found. Oh, because yeah, everything probably would work also on experimental instance. Well, maybe not debugging, but we are actually not using debugging too much. I still need to activate our feature. As I've mentioned, all features are activated lazily, and we haven't run the code to activate it. Disposables. This will require building again. this will take a minute again. But after this is done, we should be fairly close to moving forward. The next step, after we confirm the choosing of the project is working well enough, the next step is actually starting the profiler. And then after profiler is successful, starting the reporter to generate XML file. And after then we'll probably finish for today. And yeah, I will try to hack some UI in some free time, maybe later tonight or something like that. But I guess it will be just easier for me without streaming, because like as you can see, the stuff is not working too fast. But hopefully today, later today, in a couple of hours, maybe tomorrow morning, we will have working profiler for the Visual Studio Code, which not only working profiler but also like top quality, best in the market profiler that's provided by amazing company JetBrains. JetBrains is famous for its IDEs and editor toolings like ReSharper, for example, for Visual Studio. They recently also created C# IDE called Rider, which is also cross-platform, and it supports F#, which is amazing news for F# community, and we should all be super thankful to JetBrains that they've done it. Anyway, yeah, so the profiler is great, definitely. If everything will be working as fine, to the point of getting this XML with all data, then it's just a matter of creating nice UI, and we can have as nice profiler as in Visual Studio Code as we have in Visual Studio. Well, maybe not as nice, because like in Visual Studio you can attach it to the debug session and stuff like that. You can like profile the unit test or something like that, and we don't really have that at the moment, or we won't have that, I guess. Well, unit tests actually are easy, because if someone is using Expecto, as everyone should, then like running one unit test is just running Expecto, passing the name of this unit test, and then profiling this one particular unit test is profiling the Expecto project with which will run only this one unit test. Oh, actually that brings us to the point of the passing input arguments through profiler to the programs. But yeah, that's not for today. Today we just hack quickly working simple version. Okay, this is built, so we can reload window. We wait till stuff happens. Oh, it's loading current project. Oh, I think it finished. Great. So try profile. And there is actually only one. Oh no, because it hasn't finished loading. Yeah, that explains a lot. Oh, as you've seen, for a moment there is error that we are not handling undefined in this command. Okay, there are two projects to profile, which is Fornax. Actually nothing happened, but it should be printed out. Oh yeah, here it is, chosen project. It's probably a bit small, but it's d/programowanie/projekt/fornax/bin/debug/fornax.exe. So yeah, so this step is working. everything is working up until this step, which is great. We are going back to the anyone said anything in chat? Not really. Anyone is in chat? Not really. Okay. Anyway, so here we are. The next step is executing this exec profiler, passing with like how actually are we at this one? Oh yeah, so JS is defined is function that basically checks whether the object is undefined in JavaScript understanding. So if JS is defined, because the show quick pick will return undefined if someone cancels the quick pick with escape key or clicks somewhere else. So if edit is defined, so user to have chosen the project, then we run exec profiler with edit description. We actually probably will ignore it. Actually, I believe that I don't want to just exec profiler, but I want to span with notifications. Location, command, output channel. Okay, and now CP. Huh. How have I done it? I think the problem is right now that my API, my helpers API for processes is not really super good. Oh, I have on exit helper. Because like either I have spawn functions which basically returns a child process, so those functions are not waiting, or there is no like promise that will be resolved when oh, I have to promise. Yeah, that simplifies stuff. Okay, so basically to promise is a bit promise is really similar to F# async, so you can like bind and like map and stuff like that. Like it's basically like monad again, while child process is just like object representing running process in the memory, and all we can do with it is to add callback for it that will be resolved when the project is finished, or where some event happens, like process spawns something or like prints something to the output buffer, but we don't really want to do this. We want to have promise, because like in the next step here, right now we will ignore it just to check if it's running and if anything happens. But in the next step, we instead of just ignore, we will bind the next function, which will be responsible for creating report using reporter.exe. Let's build this again. Let's check Twitter. What's in F# world? Obviously cats. Yeah. T-driven dev is spamming us with cats. That's nothing new. Oh yeah. Philip is joking about creating entity framework designer for Visual Studio Code. That will be, I guess, that will be my next feature to implement, obviously, because everyone loves entity framework. So nothing interesting actually happening. That's surprising. I guess it's this time, and this time zone is maybe not the best. And this time of the day in this time zone is probably not the best for the streaming. What? News? No, I wanted the latest. Yeah, latest. I'm the only one online. Fair enough. Yeah, by the way, if anyone has any questions, then yeah, I'm still checking chat from time to time. So please, if you have any questions, ask them there, or tweet me if you prefer not to log to some weird website. Well, Twitch. Yeah, it's building. This is really annoying. That's it's so slow. I'm really sorry about that, but nothing we can do about it, I think. I'm not really sure actually why it's so slow. Maybe my laptop demands restart or something like that. Anyway, in a couple of weeks I should be back in Poland, and hopefully on my normal home PC, which is, I would assume that it's definitely like powerful enough for the streaming. So I will try to continue this for those 2 weeks I'm in Canada, but then hopefully when I'm back, stuff will be better, and I will be able to provide much better content. Let's reload this one. Also, if you are interested in learning more about Fable, especially in the context of the Visual Studio Code extensions, I will be speaking about it on the FableConf, which is in Bordeaux, France. Again, that's probably bad time zone for such announcements, but yeah, there will be first FableConf, which be 2-day events. On the first day we have a couple of great talks with important people from, well, important early adapters from F#, early adapters of the Fable, and we will also have someone from Babel team, which helps us a lot with, which helps Alfonso a lot with Babel integration, and there will be me talking about Ionide. There will be a couple of guys talking about like Elmish and all crazy cool stuff they are doing with Fable. So Bordeaux in the end of September. That's, I think it's 20th and 21st September or something like that. Fable.io/FableConf, or yeah, something like that is the web page for the conference, and please check it out. I really recommend coming. It will be great. Mostly because there will be like great wine and great people. So that's always what's the most important about conferences. Yay! As you can see, we've started Profiler. It has written something to us. Okay, and yeah, profiling is successful, finished in 2.9 seconds, well, almost 3 seconds. Collected snapshot, and snapshot is put in, yeah, my directory where I have Visual Studio Code installed, and yeah, here it is, snapshot DTP. So that's great. That's really amazing. I'm really happy that it's working so well without any problems. Yeah, so next step. Next step is executing the reporter. Exec reporter. Uh, not this one. Here we want to execute reporter again with mono. We will create command at the moment. Again, we pass output channel, which will mean that the stuff that reporter is doing will be outputted somewhere here. Where it? Oh, I'm not in this. I'm in another window. Yeah, my bad. And now, oh, someone has written something to me. Darik, hey, glad you're watching. Glad anyone is watching. Yeah, let's go back to the documentation. As you can see, as you've probably noticed, that's like the stuff that I'm doing. If anyone has told you, oh, we will create the profiler integration in Visual Studio Code, you would imagine that it's like rather difficult task, or you need any specific knowledge. But actually I don't know anything about profiling. I've just found that .trace has command line integration, has command line version today, and yeah, it sounded as a great idea to do something like that. So, and actually a lot of Ionide is really similar. You don't need to have any specific knowledge. Probably like Enrico Sada can talk a bit about it. Actually, I hope to, if I will continue this streaming thing I've come up with, maybe I will try to invite some people for some pair coding and stuff like that, or just for chatting while I'm coding, to like, because like me watching coding is just boring, and due to the fact that I know so many people in the community, it should be fairly easy to invite those people and chat with them a bit. Uh, I guess it will be easier when I'm back in home, because I will have better PC, and right now if I would to fire any like Skype or anything for the additional communication, probably my laptop would totally die, so I'm not planning to do this at the moment. But yeah, let's check the syntax. Oh, actually, I already see the thing that annoys me. So that's not really like important from the integration point of view. That's just something that annoys me in command line applications. So people are not thinking about command line applications as they should be. Their command line interface is interface of their API, and interface of their API should be like stable and consistent. And for example, here we have two tools that are basically should be used always together, which is fine. There are two small tools that's totally fine that there are two different tools. That's great actually, because that's one of the philosophy behind creating good command line applications, that command line tool should be focused on one thing and only one thing and do it well. but still the API should be consistent, just like your library's API should be consistent, or your web API should be consistent. And here we have like syntax where there is like /app equals and path to the file. And here we have /reporting, which is like main argument for this command line tool, and there is no equal here. And you just do space and path. Why is that? I don't know. Oh, actually probably all those should be there should be in, I believe, in quotes to ensure that if the path has reporting path to snapshot, path to pattern, that's again in the quotes, and path to report, that's output path. And then add process info, that's add some additional information on top of the report to some additional information about what this report was about, what application is about, some really like basic stuff, so it's cool. Yeah, basically like path to executable and command line arguments. Yeah, it might be useful, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so reporting, path to snapshot, which is snapshot location, path to pattern, which is pattern location, path to report, which will be report.xml. Actually, let's create report location, pass full path. I'm doing it to create full path for not like absolute path for all those paths I'm passing to the utilities. I'm doing it mainly because I'm not totally sure how, in what directory in what working directory the tool will be executed, and sometimes there are some problems, and I believe that there were some breaking changes about it in the past. Well, maybe not, but still I prefer just to report. I prefer just to pass full paths, absolute paths whenever it's possible, and that it doesn't really matter too much for me. To be fair, probably snapshot and report and pattern shouldn't be in bin profiler, but in some other temporary directory inside of Ionide F# directory. But yeah, again, that's something that I will fix later. Right now, I just want to have something working, and I'm really excited actually about it. That's just a function. It takes unit because all stuff all known, and now we just do promise bind so yeah, promise is monad, so we can easily bind exec, well, at least monoid exec reporter we can easily chain those functions together with bind functions and map functions, which is pretty cool. And we ignore it again. Well, yeah, probably if any step fails, we should print out a nice error message. That's again not really as important, and well, actually I'm not even has this nice error handling everywhere. So that's one of the things that I would welcome any contributions if anyone is interested to contributing to Ionide. That should be fairly simple and really useful for the users. Okay, it will build again. Parent could be need pip code preparing video back in day. Yeah, parent would be really cool. I'm really excited about the possibilities. I definitely think that it needs some work, but especially in terms of just pair coding, as normal pair coding. Because like one thing is just chatting around, but the second thing is doing real pair working, pair programming. That will be a bit more difficult because can you somehow enable timestamps? Yeah, you can. Because you need to have some way of sharing the editor, and that's actually I've done back in a couple of months ago. I've done a bit of investigation in this area, and there is no good way for that in Visual Studio Code yet. Maybe there will be one day. Hopefully there will be one day. I know that there is one company that's potentially interested in maybe creating that project, such project, or at least helping with such projects. One of the companies that's provider of messaging, like online messaging system, and like sending events online with low latency. So there is one of such companies has the sponsored Atom per extension for Atom editor, and I know that there may be some interest for Visual Studio Code also. So maybe one day we will see. That's something that I will definitely want to do. Yeah, I believe that getting Enrico or maybe Dave Thomas or maybe Stefan Forkman should be like possible, and I would love to talk with them and to code with them, and that could be fun definitely. As I also hope that maybe I will invite someone now when I'm still in this time zone, in West Coast time zone, US West Coast. Uh, Maybe we will chat with someone from Microsoft or someone I don't know yet, but that's a possibility. So yeah, but right now for this time I'm in Vancouver, it would definitely be just like talking with them and chatting, not really pair programming, because like there is no software, and my laptop would die probably. Okay. Anyway, uh, we've built this, so let's reload. Let's wait a moment till extension is activated. Usually it's much faster, but yeah, I'm not really sure what's wrong today. This is way too slow. This is ridiculously slow. Maybe it's just my PC. I wouldn't expect that just streaming software is so is so resource heavy to just make everything as slow. Profile. We again want to profile. Fornax profiler has started. Someone has written to me. What's that? Oh. Yep, that's not really. Oh, that's interesting. Actually, they say to me that this is not valid path. They don't want to have the path in the. That's interesting. Okay. Okay then. Let's remove all quotes. That's surprising. That will bite someone in the ass later. I'm pretty sure that this will crash and burn if someone uses the path with the spaces inside. But if they say they don't want quotes, then they don't want quotes. This is super interesting. This is super weird. It's not really even interesting. It's just super weird. I would expect that usually those quotes would be in with any good library for passing command line arguments. Those quotes would be just ignored. And reporter worked. Tried to do something, but it also has gone wrong. Maybe for the same reason. Uh, File exists. That's not my message. We will see. We will try again in the moment. Depending on how you configure the video encoding is probably eating most CPU cycles. Oh, good to know. That's my first stream ever. I know nothing about it. The only thing I know about streaming is that I've watched uh, some games on the Twitch back in the days, and I still do actually. I really like those esport tournaments. But anyway, that's the story for other time. Off to bed. We'll try to catch your next streams. Yeah. Hey, it was great to have you here, and really happy that you could join. Reload window. Okay, let's try again profiling. Profile project Fornax. It's starting profiler. .trace console. This is really good. Yeah, already exists. I wonder if that's the problem. It started reporter. Huh. Reporter does something. I think it does something wrong. I would not expect it to print out the help. Has it generated the pattern XML? I'm not really sure what's going wrong here. Let's go to terminal. First of all, yeah, let's go to terminal, not this terminal, this terminal. CD release. CD bin profiler. Reporter exe, and then we are passing slash reporting, then it's snapshot location, well, it's just snapshot DTP, then it's pattern location, which is pattern XML, and there is reporter. Oh, because that's mistake. Report. It should be report location. Yeah, let's build this again. Let's close this terminal. Yeah, sometimes I'm stupid. Sorry for that. Looks like the snapshot and the probably also report XML will need to be deleted before we execute those two functions, because like I don't even know if those are warnings or just errors that the files exist already. We will see. Yeah, if anyone knows anything about how to set up this streaming thing better, I would be grateful, because like right now, yeah, like it's going crazy slowly. And this is quite a powerful laptop. It's not so bad laptop. It's not some bad laptop. It's Dell XPS 15, the most powerful one. So yeah, with Core i7 and 16 gigabytes of RAM and pretty decent GeForce GPU, so that should be fast machine. Maybe the fact that it needs to scale down from my native 4K resolution to the streaming resolution is problem. Maybe I will try to just downscale it on the system next time, and then to just stream with this resolution. Yeah, that's the task for next couple of days to figure it out. It's building. So as you can see, it's like 100 lines of code at the moment. Like changes in 6 different files, while like git ignore and this one actually launched the JSON. This will be reverted because that's only changed because it's working. Oh, actually I can reverse it right now because I'm not trying to debug anymore. So that's really whatever change, and yeah, that was git ignore change, and then in those doing those couple small changes while the main file is here, and it's like 90 lines of code at the moment. We basically created nice integration. Obviously, there is still need to create nice UI for it, and I'm not really even sure yet how it will look like. There are a couple of options. Well, there are a couple of there are a couple of options, but Visual Studio Code is fairly limited in terms of UI extensions. That's like by design behavior. The 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 Visual Studio Code team and Eric Gamma don't want to repeat the errors of the Eclipse, for example, and Atom, I guess, when people have full access to UI and to DOM and have unlimited access to editor with low-level APIs and can do everything, and that's like making a lot of extensions in those editors pretty bad. It's similar with Visual Studio, to be fair. Visual Studio Code team went different way, and they tried to provide as streamlined experience as possible, and so they enable only those APIs that fit into their philosophy of lightweight IDE, which is really good in my point of view. From my point of view, it provides unified user experience for all extensions for all different languages, which was a huge problem in Atom, where when even something as simple as tooltip had to be implemented by us. Just that was specific Ionide in implementation of tooltips. That's totally different from any other languages, and each language has which provides such functionality had its own implementation of tooltips, and it's like, yeah, seriously, that's just bad idea in my view. Anyway, it built. We can reload this again. Reload this again. Right. Wait a moment for the extension to initialize and to parse all the projects. Oh, by the way, I really recommend installing the latest yesterday update to the Ionide. We've introduced some really nice caching for the project file parsing, project file cracking. So whenever you open the same workspace again, the same solution again, the successive openings, successive reopenings, restarts of Visual Studio Code, or like opening it after a while should be much faster, because like we cache all important data about project files, and we don't need to execute crackers again in the initialization part of the initialization part for the extension. So the time that you need to wait to have fully functional editor, and by fully functional I mean with working all features working, including those features that works across different projects, like rename or find all references or go to symbol in workspace. There is like, especially on the bigger solutions, there is like huge gain at the moment. On one of my work solutions, which has 15 projects, which is not really a lot of projects for .NET World. It's just 15 projects, and the startup time went from around full initialization time went from around 30 seconds to 7 seconds. So that's huge. That's definitely noticeable and huge performance gain. I am really happy that we could introduce that. Anyway, this is activated. Profile. We run profiler again. I actually think that's an error, and it doesn't run the the profiling again, because if it would run profiling, the output from Fornax would be printed here, and yeah, some like output from Fornax would be printed out. But what's the important part? Finish generating the report, and it's in bean profiler report.xml. We can now go to it and see what was this whole deal about. So this is the report, and yeah, it basically shows call to each function, how many instances of this function, so in how many places this function was called, what was the total time in each of those places, how many times it was called, and so on, so on. So that's basically the whole. Well, I don't think it's everything, but that's a lot of really useful information that we now know about our program. Okay, and I guess that's it for today. I will probably streamline this like integration a bit tonight. I will try to create maybe some UI for it. I don't really know how yet, but will try to do my best. It was 1 hour and 25 minutes of stream, I guess, around. That was fun. I really hope to do this again, and hope to improve my English and improve the configuration of everything, so the stuff work. I also hope that the next time the camera will be working, so I will be like visible. Today I had some problems with my camera. I believe that was problem with my PC, not really with the streaming software, but I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, and that was fun. Thank you everyone who tuned in and who watched me doing the stuff. As you can see, it's not really too difficult. The creating the new integration with Ionide is fairly simple, and like it didn't require any specific knowledge. I just like read one page of the documentation, checked what are input arguments for the command line tool, and copying code from the integration I've created some time ago. I've just created new one in 100 lines of code. And yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed it, and see you next time. Thank you.